Buddy Gavin Simon, I just want to give you a quick update talking about what happened on the ground on Thursday when David Fry went out, because there's a few misconceptions, especially in the mainstream media, about this, and it's really important that we keep straight. First of all, the key thing to understand is the FBI did not negotiate this out. The FBI, from the very beginning, were the criminals in all this. The FBI assassinated Lavoy Finicum. The FBI surrounded these guys and were trying to not negotiate, but to instigate violence there on Wednesday night. And we can hear this actually in the live call, where they're actually in the background trying to goad them, trying to get them to do some sort of knee-jerk reaction so they can get violence. Then what happened is the whole world started watching. And the world shined light on their wicked deeds. And people like this, corrupt government, our FBI, the state of our current government, our courts, they operate in darkness. They operate in secret. You know, they keep cameras away. They keep the truth away. They keep the media away. They work under cover of darkness. It's really important to understand what's happening. Okay? This is the stuff that dictatorial regimes do. And that's exactly what our government is doing, because we don't have a government of law and order or liberty. We have a government who is an open violation of the law, who's in active assault on the people. We have a government engaged in treason. Now, what happened then? You hear this call and, you know, things aren't looking good, and we're trying to tell David, look, you need to be here to stand another day, right? And so it kind of goes quiet there at the end. We're all trying to figure out what to do, and David is on the phone talking in the background to the FBI. The media is trying to take that and spin it and say, oh, the FBI, they de-escalated, they negotiated. That's not what happened. And I've actually confirmed that. We can't fully hear it in the call, but we've confirmed it in the background what actually happened. And you had all the world watching this. See, suddenly, unlike the night before, the FBI wasn't going to try to goad them into a fight because they had public figures on the ground. They had Franklin Graham. They had Michelle Fiore. The world was watching what was going on. And so, in fact, the FBI, from the word we're getting from the ground, they were kind of losing it too. They didn't know how to fix the situation either at that point. And what actually happened is AMMON's attorney, Mike Arnold, was working in the background along with other people working in the background. But AMMON's attorney got a hold of AMMON, and AMMON put out a recorded message, and that was played back. Now, it's important to note that the FBI, this was not the FBI's doing. AMMON sent out this message, and we can confirm that because Nathan and I actually got that same message. Mr. Arnold was smart enough to put that out to multiple sources in hopes that it would get through. And so as you hear that call going in the background, and ultimately they play AMMON's message over that call in the background, and we were working on our end, getting that audio file loaded up, and it was just about queued and ready to go when they got the call through on the other end, and David Fry went out. And so the FBI gets no credit here. They're the criminals all along. And here is that final call that came through. And this is why I know it's true, because it landed in our inbox. And it also landed on the front line there and was played over that FBI phone. And this is what AMMON told David.
David, this is AMMON Bundy. I want you to know that there is a future out here, that you have a future. You've been valiant in your stand for your country and for your rights, and that your actions here really matter, and that we love you, and that, yeah, it will not be easy at first, but we know that the American people are going to stand with us. They're going to stand for your rights, for my rights, and that we're going to get this thing straightened out. And that you need to be part of this, even though it might be difficult for you for a few weeks. But we want you to be part of this. We know you have been valiant in your stand, and we ask you to do not take your life, and come here and let's work this together. And we know the American people are going to stand and make this right, and you have been a part of that. So please come out of there and let us work this out. And I love you very much, and thank you for your valiant efforts and cause new. Because you love your neighbor, and because you love this land and you love freedom. And go through this with us. Thank you.
Wow. So that's what happened, folks. The FBI didn't negotiate them down. The FBI was never negotiating. The FBI was there committing terror on the people of Harney County, on the Patriots, just like they're down there doing right now. Because we have a lawless government. And so we need to make sure that we understand the narrative. The Patriots in Oregon were down there to love their neighbor. They were down there to be peacemakers, and that's what they did right up to the end. That's why the Final Four didn't want violence, even though they were willing to lay down their life for the cause. They weren't there for violence. They weren't there for hate. They were there to love their neighbor. They were there for liberty. And that's why AMMON was there, and that's the message that he's even sending out of jail right now. But we need to understand how lawless these courts are. And I actually spoke with Michelle, and she said that the next day she went into the courtroom down there, and she was just appalled. She was just appalled by what was happening in that courtroom. And you will be appalled too when you go into these courtrooms, and this goes all the way down to your local level. Guys, the rule of law is not existing in the courtrooms. Due process isn't existing in the courtrooms. It's not existing in our FBI, in our public agencies. The rule of law has been destroyed, and we have to step up to fix that. We have to take the stand. We have to be principled. And so, as for me, I'm going to put my appeal to heaven. I'm going to keep spreading the truth. I'm going to keep standing up for the truth. And I think we all need to do the same. We need to quit playing politics. We need to quit pretending that it's still mostly good, because it's not. And we need to support heroes like our Patriots in Oregon, like David Fry, who got the word out. And the media loves to spin people like David like, oh, they're crazy, and this is what Patriots are. No, David's not crazy. David loved his neighbor. David hates the abuse in this nation. And certainly David was under a lot of mental strain. You try being surrounded for weeks out in the winter cold by the same people that murdered your friend, and see how you respond. And so I'm so proud of the Patriots down there. I'm so proud that people are standing up. And I just wish more of America and more of our Patriot groups. I wish we'd stop playing games and politics and worrying about getting reelected and worrying about what people think of us. Just start standing boldly for truth and liberty. Not getting distracted, not getting divided. We need to unite in liberty and stand up so that our children are not bound in the shackles of slaves. So that's what's happened at the end. There's, I'm sure, more stories to come, and hopefully we'll hear from more of the people like Michelle on more details. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a fill-in at what really happened, how the situation was really resolved, and that the Patriots stepped up. They stood up for their own. They spread the message. They talked to their own. Right up to the end. And no blood was spilled. And in the end, the credit goes most of all to God. So we keep standing, we keep being principled, and we keep spreading the message of liberty.